Morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. You know, some people who come to Shofar Mountain to visit are initially put out a little bit. They come here and they know that we are a religious community, right? You know, our first and foremost thing is that we're dedicating our lives to the Most High Yah, to God. That's what we're trying to do. But what they notice is that many people they see are carrying guns, right? The pastor packs heat. What kind of man of God is that who carries a gun? And so I thought I'd talk about that a little bit out here. When I was a Boy Scout Scoutmaster, like many Boy Scout Scoutmasters or Boy Scout troops, at the beginning of every meeting we'd have an inspection, a uniform inspection to teach the boys discipline and you know, make sure they're all in the right uniform. But one thing that we would always inspect was what I called fire and steel. Here, let's see here. So, a means to make a fire, a lighter would work, you know. As another good friend of mine says, if Daniel Boone had had a Bic, he would have carried it. And then a knife, right? I made all the boys carry a knife. Now, one of the first things we did in our Boy Scout troop was make the boys earn their totem chip, so they could do it safely. But they all had to carry fire and steel. We do out here. Everybody on Shofar Mountain carries fire and steel all the time. Another thing we carry out here is firearms, right? Everybody carries them. Why? I was working on my house over there, up on the roof, and one of my neighbors came by to see how things were going. And, you know, I had my tool belt on, and it was hot, and I have my straw hat on, and I'm up there putting up shingles. And he noticed that I had my handgun on. And when we were done and took a break and we're drinking some water, he's like, "What are you afraid of?" I'm not afraid of anything. I have the power of the Most High God is available to me. I'm afraid of nothing. I'm a retired Green Beret, you know, to put it in the civilian vernacular. I'm a combatives instructor. You know, I'm not afraid of anything. He goes, "Then why do you carry a gun? Nobody's going to come get you out here." I understand the question. Why do you carry a gun? It's kind of like, why do you carry a gun to church? Right? We know the answer to that. Here's the reality that you have to understand. You do not get to pick, assuming you're a good person, you know, who's not a soldier, let's say, you know, whose job it is to exact violence on people, right? That used to be my job. That's no longer my job. So if you're just a regular run-of-the-mill good person, you know, not a criminal, you don't get to pick the time that the fight is going to start. You don't get to pick the time that bad things are going to happen. If you did, if you knew when that was, not only do you get to pick it, you don't get to pick it, you don't know when it is, right? Because if you knew that at 2 o'clock this afternoon, you're going to have to use your gun, Pastor Joe, you wouldn't be there, right? You just wouldn't go, you'd avoid it. Or if you had to be there, you'd take all your friends with rifles, right? Because, you know, let's face it, a rifle's better than a handgun. So you don't get to pick. You don't know when some crazy person's just going to come out of the woods. Is that likely? No. But I have a good friend and brother who lives in the middle of a section of land in Missouri. For those of you who don't know, that's like a square mile, basically. In the middle of nowhere, his driveway is like half a mile long. And I'll make a long story short. His wife was at home alone one day, as she is many days, and there's a knock at her door, and it was a woman there was a massive manhunt because she just knocked off, you know, 3 stores or banks or something, and she had a gun. Now, she had ditched it right before she knocked on this woman's door, but think about it. There she is, minding her own business on their version of like Shofar Mountain, you know, out here in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden some crazy person shows up. You don't get to pick, right? You don't get to pick. And she, like the Shofarians, the good woman, the sister, she had a Glock on, right? Go figure. So yeah, we're living in strange times, we're living in evil times, and you need to be prepared, because you never know when you're going to need a gun. I don't want to shoot my gun at anybody anymore. Don't want to do it. Don't want to have to do it as a civilian, right? But I want to be able to take care of my family, myself, my flock, you know, and sometimes, you know, Yah forbid, that may require having a handgun. Now, there's another interesting tidbit to that. Everybody around here knows that all the people on Shofar Mountain pack heat. That's a safety thing right there. they think we're a little bit crazy. That's okay. I don't mind that. I really don't, from a security aspect. Other things we carry, just as long as we're going there. Let's see, can you see this? I carry a Leatherman every day. A brother here taught me to do that. My son taught me to carry the Leatherman every day. I carry a spare mag and carry a flashlight. Because you never know when you're going to need a flashlight. I know, it's like right now it's kind of gray out, but I could be looking under something or whatever, and it's just easier to have a flashlight and not need it, and need it, not have it. Hey, I trust in the Most High Yah, and you know what? He gave me, He blessed me with certain skill sets. Amongst those is the ability to use firearms effectively. I figure He gave me that skill. Why throw it in the trash? You never know. You don't get to pick when the danger comes. All right, I'll see you out there.